Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the One Hub Racing P1 tier. We were live for about 16 odd seconds, but unfortunately my game decided to crash. But unlike the drivers here in Singapore, who are not crashing so far in qualifying, we're just getting started for round number 6 of the P1 tier championship. And if you're a fan of championship battles, just like every motorsport fan ever, the championship leader Jamie Mells is not here this evening, so it's a real chance to close in on some points. Once again for this week, I am joined alongside Baza. How are you doing?
Good evening all. Yes, back again. It was a quick flight home to wet Wales and then a couple of days off and then straight back on a plane back to Singapore. So yeah, looking forward to this one. It's a favourite of mine. It's tight, twisty, and it can be an extremely long race for the drivers also.
Yep, it is a long one here in Singapore. It is probably the longest league race on the calendar, but we're just getting underway for qualifying. It's currently Ryder Dahl on pole position with a 1:36.266. OP Tim just behind him, very close at the top of the order. It's J. Cole in third, who's a second adrift, followed by Larkin, Nipro, Jinx, and then VTI DOHC. Look, I think trying to pronounce that one could end badly. So we're just going to stick to the letters, as we are still going to see some people on qualifying laps. That was Serdar Yavuz, who has gone to fifth. Some new names here in... oh, never mind. Here's our championship leader. So Jamie Mells is here, as our championship leader does join the Singapore Grand Prix. A couple of new faces this evening. We had some new ones last week, but neither of them have managed to join us once again this week. We're currently looking at Timo, who is on a qualifying lap.
Yep, we've got both Mercedes running this week, as we didn't have either driver last week. Mr. Owen Wyatt is back this week. And yeah, a couple of new faces. Yeah, as the championship leader has just joined us, no doubt he's going to be starting last, and can he cut his way through the field once again?
Yep, we'll see if he can. There was a qualifying suspension due to an engine penalty for last week's poleman, the Confessor. He'll start from the back of the grid, but it's a good track to do it round because, as we said, plenty of laps. Timo goes to third. He's about 5/10 adrift of pole position. Caston heading through the Singapore sling. We'll see what the Williams can do. Heading now over the Anderson Bridge. Cass usually quite good in qualifying. A bit of a disappointing race in Bahrain, but the Williams team will be looking to try and get back up near towards the top. Here's Caston braking for the right-hander of turn 14. It says it's a purple sector too, not too sure on that, but here comes Caston braking for the chicane. It's a right and then a left, and then under the stand, this whole section being practically removed now for 2023 due to some refurbishments in the area. Nothing to do with Formula 1, it's just the Singaporean government who have decided that they want to put some new buildings here, and unfortunately we can't run the cars through those. Caston rounding the final two corners, turn 22 or turn 21 and 22. P3 for Cass. It's a decent lap. It's 4/10 of a second off pole position, but it's good enough for third. Merckx is going to start a hot lap then as well, as he heads through the right and left hander of this 5.063 kilometres Singaporean circuit. Yellow flag sector 1. Just some cars exiting the pit lane.
Yep, looks like everyone is out on out laps or in the pits. Is Merck the only driver who's about to start a lap now? He's not got a lap time on the board, so we'll see what he can do with this.
We'll see what Merckx can do. He's looking decent through the first couple of corners.
Yes,
Down.
Just check.
Oh, sorry.
I was just checking some of the standings as well. Obviously, now Jamie has joined us. If the unlikelihood happens, if both Ferraris were to DNF tonight and in the sprint, Jamie could potentially become world champion if he wins both races and gets fastest lap in both events.
Okay, so that Jamie Mells he's already practically wrapping up the title, folks. That's an interesting one. This is
he's basically got one hand on it already, hasn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. He pretty much does. Our, of course, Jamie Melts tonight, of course. Or, sorry, apologies, I should say next week in Spa-Francorchamps we do have the return of the sprint. And that would be something else if he could wrap up a title before the Grand Prix even starts. That would be truly something. But next week, of course, you can join us for the Belgian Grand Prix sprint, and then we head to Paul Ricard, and then Montreal, and then Silverstone to round out the season. Here comes Merckx across the line then. He goes to 5th position. We're already looking on to next week. We haven't even got properly started tonight. And that man we were talking about, Jamie Mells, is getting ready to start a qualifying lap. His teammate is just behind him on a qualifying lap. Tim, of course, has been here since the start of the session, so already has a run on the board. He's narrowly off the top, and he's narrowly down on his current run. So heading through 19 and 20, and in towards the left-hander of 21. Last real slow corner here on the circuit. Can OP Tim find some time to take the top here in qualifying? Bit wide for the final corner. Across the line, he is going to take provisional pole position. It's a 1:36.133. Ryder Dahl, is he responding? Absolutely is, through sector number 1. Not good enough for pole position as of now, but Ryder Dahl is still up on his qualifying lap quite crucially. Jamie Mells, we'll keep an eye on his lap, I should say, throughout the session. Jinx has invalidated his lap. Nipro then heading through turn number 8. Looking a bit slow through there is Nipro, but hopefully he can pick it up. Here comes Larkin towards the line. He's going to put himself 4th. 0.6 of a second off pole position, so big margins around Singapore. 0.6 separating the top 4. Usually we can get an entire field in that almost, and that is quite a margin from these top guys. Ryder Dahl is improving to retake his pole position. He is 0.170 up on his qualifying time, entering in towards turn number 16 and 17. We'll see what Ryder Dahl can do heading through the final sector.
We've got a McLaren spun around. I was just on board with Jamie. Got a bit of a tank slapper on the Anderson Bridge, but he's kept it all together. Went purple sector 1, but he is down on time in sector 2.
Huge wobble through for Ryder Dahl for the final corner. Is this going to cost him time? It isn't. He's probably did cost him some time, but he still managed to retake pole position. Here's Jamie Melsden. Ryder Dahl, of course, had a bit of traffic on his lap. Jamie has a clean circuit in front of him. We predict this one to go to the top. It usually does, but rounding the final couple of corners, this of course is a banker time for Jamie Mells compared to Ryder Dahl's lap. It's got to be slower, it's got to be second position. He beats his teammate, but he is behind Ryder Dahl, who fancies himself around the Singaporean streets here this evening. The championship leader, it's not really a worry for him where he starts. He can win from anywhere, as proven in Bahrain. He's not going to be starting on pole position for the second week running as it stands.
Yeah, well, I mean, so Ryder Dahl and Jamie have both got time to find, because they both had slight twitches on that lap. Jamie did go fastest in sector 3 as well, so it's just the middle sector he needs to nail. So it's going to be extremely close between them two, and obviously we need to see what his teammate Tim can do on the final run as well.
Yeah, we'll see what his teammate Tim can do. Tim has been right up there all season. However, he's made crucial mistakes at the wrong times. Jinx is up by 0.2 of a second. He's currently 2.5 or almost 2.5 seconds off the pole time, so he needs a bit more than 0.2 of a second if he wants to put that Papaya McLaren up there. Heading under the grandstand then of the tunnel through turn number 19 in towards 20, and then it's 21 for the McLaren, and then 22 and 23. Corners just shy of the Jeddah Corniche circuit, one of the tracks with the most corners. That's a lot better for Jinx. That is P4 for the McLaren. That's about a 2-second gain, so he obviously had a bit of a spin or something in the final sector maybe. Wasn't necessarily a realistic representation of what he can do. Nobody on a hot lap as of now as Jamie Melts just enters the pits, and we saw Jinx heading through the final corner. VTI then is he's also invalid, and so is Serdar. So these two guys will have to limp back to the pit lane, get a fresh set of boots on, and back out on track.
Yep. Everyone's basically in the pits now, getting the final preparations done. Fresh set of boots, and who can nail it on pole position? Can we get anyone else in the 35s as well? By the looks of it, I assume Owen Wyatt has got an engine penalty as well, because he is not coming out of the pits.
Don't believe he does. Unless maybe he does, and the people who do the engine penalties might have missed it. But Owen Wyatt, I don't think he does. I think it's just the confessor who has a penalty for us. I did see in the P2 here, there was about 6 or 7 people who took engine penalties, so that was...
Yeah, there was quite a few in the P2 tier, yeah.
That's an interesting one.
I think there was 5 of us in P3 as well.
And of course, if you're wondering what the P2 and P3 tiers are, I'm sure most of the people watching are familiar with them, but they are the other 2 One Hub Racing tiers that you can also catch on Friday nights. They're over now for this evening, unfortunately, because the man beside me was racing in one. But you can, of course, tune into those over on the YouTube or the Twitch. They kind of swap and change each week, so lots of One Hub Racing action across the board. We're getting ready for the final part of qualifying then. In fact, yellow flag would like to remove, and we could see our qualifying timer. That would certainly help us. However, with a lot of guys coming out on track, we can kind of see we're down to the business end of things. 2 minutes and 12 to go then, here in qualifying for the ERT Marina Bay Singaporean Grand Prix. Can Jamie Mells snatch pole off Ryder Dow?
Speaking of Owen Wyatt, he is now out on track, so he's just doing the 1 lap dash, and he is going to be the first driver to set a lap time.
Owen Wyatt, usually one who's quite good under pressure in qualifying. In the race, not really, but Owen certainly has produced pole laps before, was notably on pole position in the P2 tier last season in Hungary, where he took a fabulous pole position. Unfortunately, the race was all ended by lap 3. But the Aston Martin driver is looking to take pole around the tight Singaporean streets. He has 23 corners, 14 to the left and 9 to the right to navigate if he would like to take pole off Ryder Dow. But Owen Wyatt certainly could do it. Starting the lap then, the Aston Martin is as crucial for him if he wants to get back in this championship fight, or if he wants to just get back in any sort of fight. Currently 15th in the championship with 4 points. He's not scored points since round number 1. So Owen Wyatt could do with a few on the board, heading through turn number 4. Doesn't run as close to the wall as some, but the Aston Martin certainly pushing on the limits here. Flat right then for turn number 6 and braking for turn number 7. One of the better overtaking opportunities. It was a purple sector 1 for Owen Wyatt. Whether that's representative or not, we can never really tell, thanks to the fabulous company that is Codemasters. Flicking into the left then of turn number 9, and then it is the old Singaporean sling. That used to be a fabulous chicane through here, now just a left-hander. It was removed because of safety reasons. It certainly was a bit of a dangerous corner over the Anderson Bridge. Owen Wyatt just braking for the left-hand hairpin. Decent lap this so far for Owen Wyatt. Apologies folks, the camera got stuck there for some reason. But now braking in towards turn number 14. So 104 in the middle sector for Owen Wyatt. That's not too bad at all here. This has been a fairly decent lap for the Aston Martin, flicking it into the left. It's his first lap of the evening, of course, so we don't have any, or know whether he's improving or not. That's a bit wide through there. And then flicking it back into the right-hander, into the left again. Accelerate towards the line. Can Owen Wyatt maybe steal pole position? No, it's nowhere near good enough, unfortunately. Owen Wyatt, he's going to only go 11th. Back up the top. Here's Jamie Mells across the line. He is going to retake pole position. It's a 1:35.595 for Jamie Mells, the championship leader. Ryder Dow just behind OP Tim on circuit. Can one Haasman steal it from another? Will it be a front row lockout for Haas? Here comes Tim then across the line. Timo's gone forward. Tim, it's the exact same lap time. Wow. Oh my goodness me. Here comes Ryder Dow across the line then. Oh my goodness me.
Oh, I have never seen it so close.
That's unbelievable. They're
Brilliant.
all so close. Merckx just about beats his teammate. Larkin is unfortunately in the wall. J. Cole is down on his time. Nipro is into the pits. And one Mercedes spins. There is 0.003 separating the top 3 in qualifying, and then it's 7/10 back to the next driver. This is unbelievable.
Both Ferraris have decided to spin at the same corner as well. Wow, what a top 3 that is.
That's mad.
Never experienced a level pole position.
Jamie Mells takes pole position purely off the basis that he set the lap first. His teammate has put in the exact same lap time, and Ryder Dahl has gone practically what I usually say the analogy of a fingernail behind, and it's probably even a bit closer than that. That is crazy. It's a 1:35.595 for both Haas drivers. Jamie Mel starts on pole position ahead of Tim. Ryder the Swede takes third, followed by Timo in fourth, Jinx in fifth, J. Cole sixth, Merck seventh, Cass in eighth, followed by Larkin in ninth, Nipro 10th, Owen White in 11th, Serdar qualifies in 12th, VTI qualifies 13th, and then the Confessor, of course, was serving his engine suspension. That is mad. I cannot believe qualifying. I hope the race is as close as this. I fear it won't be, because you can't get much closer than this.
Yeah, that's astonishing. I've never seen it so close. And, you know, the top three were 7/10ths quicker than Timo in P4. The time difference was amazing.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? The top three are so close, and the rest of them, they couldn't even dream of being that close. But nevertheless, this closeness in qualifying couldn't be possible without our fantastic One Hub Racing sponsors and partners. So a big thank you to Next Level Racing, who sponsored the league by providing prizes. Pure Sim Gear sponsors the league by providing a new product not launched yet to the driver with the most pole positions. Gamer Goo sponsors the league by providing Gamer Goo samples to trophy winners. And then Asetek Sim Sports sponsors the league by providing a multitude of prizes with different ways to win them. The driver with the most fastest laps wins a set of Forte pedals, and the driver with the shortest combined qualifying time wins a set of Forte pedals and boots. And a big thank you to our partners, Vespertine. We are partnered with Vespertine, who sponsor our official apparel. ERT, partner the ERT Going Gets Tough Award and League trophies. And SimGrid, our league database, is powered by SimGrid. Big thank you to all of those, but Baz, I'm going to hand it over to you for a second. Who do you think is going to win this one?
Oh, it's too close to call. You could say Ryder Dahl in P3 has probably got the chance, you know, because the two Haas drivers starting on the front row, you know, they've got a healthy lead in the constructors. They don't really necessarily need to be battling each other. If they do trip over each other, then it's the Red Bull drivers for the taking. But obviously, going back to Bahrain last week, you know, the Confessor came back. He had some decent pace. We need to keep an eye on him from the back of the grid also.
Yeah, the Confessor was tipped to win the Grand Prix from pole position last week, but the inevitable Jamie Mells came and resurfaced himself. It's Jamie Mells still on pole position, ahead of OP Tim on the mediums, Ryder Dahl on the mediums in third. It's then Timo and Jinx on the soft side. Everybody else is on the medium compound of tyres. Driver standings update then, it's Jamie Mells, of course, who leads with 95 points ahead of ERT Larkin, who starts 9th on 45, ahead of J. Cole 43, Merck on 40, Tim on 39, Timo 35, Ryder Dahl on 33, and Cass on 31. Second down to 8th in the standings, if my brain would like to work for me, is separated by 14 points, and the gap between first and second is 50. So there's another lesson on how things are very much different in Grand Prix racing. It's then the Confessor in 10th with 22, Corey in 11th with 18, Tony, who we haven't seen for a while, in 12th on 14, Jinx in 13th with 12. It's then Wilsey, who picked up a 6th place finish and picked up 8 points on debut last week. It's then Owen Wyatt with 4. It's then Serdar with 3. I believe that could be a new PSN actually for him, because he did make his debut last week seemingly. It's then Nipro with 0, and then VTI Kevin, who has 0 at the bottom. So that's Kevin in 13th. That saves me from trying to pronounce that any more. But we are heading around the final few corners to start the Singaporean Grand Prix. This should be a good one.
It should be a good one. There's quite a few overtaking spots. You know, it is a tricky track. You know, turn 1's doable. Turn 5 is also a doable one if you've got the exit out of turn 3. but the most favoured one is probably down into turn 7. It may be up the hill into turn 14. But the guys are all lining up, and we are about to get going.
We're lining up on the grid then here in Marina Bay. No wet weather going to come into play into this one by the looks of things. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we go racing here in Singapore. It's a good launch initially from the Haas on the inside of the grid, Tim, but Jamie Mills has got away much better. Alpine up alongside Ryder Dahl. That's Timo who's looking for third position. He's going to get it as well, I believe, in towards turn number 3. Not soft compound tyres is the much better at the race start here. Jinx looking around the outside of Ryder Dahl as well. The man who started in third position has not got a good getaway on the line. He's 2 cars on his outside. Jinx has tapped the wall. Ryder Dahl then falls into fourth position, still going to attack Timo. The 2 Haas's, 1 by 1 in towards turn 7. Ryder Dahl at the inside of Timo then into turn number 7, and he's going to have to fall behind. Back down the field then, good start for the Confessor. He's up 3 into 11th, and that's Timo round. Oh, that's Tim round as well. It's the man from second place who's gone round. Timo's gone round as well. Jinx is up to 3rd. J. Cole in 4th. Tim, was he hit? Did he go round? I didn't quite catch it.
The Red Bull of Ryder Dahl just tapped the rear end and spun Tim around. I believe Tim in the Haas just spun by himself.
Spun by itself. It's multiple mistakes for Tim so far this season, and another costly one really, because if he wants to get back in this championship fight, it's win practically every race towards the end. Oh, it's a huge dive bomb in towards turn number 14 from the Haasman. That's last of the late breakers. Can he get up the inside of Kevin? It's not worked out for him so far. What about here? Does Tim? He does outbrake the Mercedes. Looks like Kevin might have backed out of that one. He's on the hard compound tyres actually, so that's probably why. A little bit slower. Crossing the line to complete the first lap. Jamie Bell's leads by 1.8 seconds over Ryder Dahl. Jinx in 3rd. And then it is J. Cole, Mert, Larkin, Cass, Timo, Owen Wyatt, Nipro, Serdar, the Confessor, who has just left the session. I believe it's a disconnect for the Confessor. Tim in 3rd, followed by Kevin in... Tim in 3rd. Tim in the 13th, I apologise. Followed by Kevin in 14th position.
Yep, so Jinx now in P3 needs to make the most of these tyres while he can. I don't believe that Ryder Dahl got any damage. I think it was just a slight rear end of the Alpine that spun him around, so there's no damage to either car.
No damage to either car. The only person really falling off.
Say that, I think Tim has just hit the wall.
Ooh, Tim struggling here in Singapore.
Was it turn 8? Yeah, he's gone deep in turn 8 and he just clipped the wall. It doesn't look to be any damage on the wing. It might just have been the tyre that hit the wall.
It's the same corner. He got spun around on the last lap, so turn 8 not being a successful adventure for Tim so far in this Grand Prix. His teammate leads the race by 2.4 seconds. The Confessor's dropped to 13th due to that disconnect. And not too sure if he's able to get back with us. Hopefully he is, as Jinx heading and hounding Ryder Dahl. Oh, he's actually made a bit of a mistake there, as Jinx was getting close to the Red Bull, but he's made a little bit of an error. These soft tyres are not going to go too long in the race here, but of course we do have a 2-stop in One Hub Racing. If you are new with us, it is a 2-stop strategy. That's a yellow flag. That's Owen Wyatt, and has the inevitable happened for Owen Wyatt? It unfortunately has. And Owen has spun. Is this going to be into the pits for the Aston Martin? It is, and it'll be the first pit stop of the day.
Yep, and he's got no front wing left on
and he
that
sped
car,
in.
so...
Is this going to be the first retirement possibly of the day? It is.
Oh, there we go.
Well, technically he's still in the race. He's just left. So
Yeah.
Owen Wyatt, unfortunately, leading after 3 laps. That championship tally of 4 is not going to get much better, as he is now at the foot of the field, and it's his AI driving. It's not him, so there's no real chance of catching back up. However, if 2 more people retire and the admins are nice, he might still pick up a point.
Yep, so battle between Ferrari and Williams in the constructors. We've got Merck chasing down J. Cole, Larkin chasing down Merck, and Cass chasing down Larkin. So it's going to be interesting to watch them throughout this race. There's a long way to go.
A long way to go. We're halfway through lap number 3 of 31, so there's still quite a bit of racing for these guys. It's not all done yet. Jamie Mills leads by 2.8 seconds, but that could come down easily. We saw strategy. The initial good strategy last week was not the one that won the race. It was the hard stint in the middle in Bahrain that won the race. I think it will be something similar here because there is high tyre wear and a lot of laps, so I imagine we will see the hard compound of Pirelli rubber utilised. But as of now, it is still definitely Williams versus Ferrari here, because Cass is just behind Larkin and Merck is doing his best to keep with J. Cole. The Confessor has rejoined us, so good to see the Confessor back with us.
Yep, hopefully he can get into the car quickly and start getting some laps in, because the Mercedes is just and as I say that, yeah, he's back in the car and he's on the move with the Mercedes chasing him down.
So the Confessor now, he's round. Oh no. And I think that might just be the fact he was not used to the car and he just spun it on the mediums, but the Confessor is now at the foot of the field, apart from Owen Wyatt, who has left us, of course. The Confessor now firmly planted at the back. The only real on-track battle now is going to be between Cass and Larkin, because the Williams is right on the tail of the Ferrari. It is a classic Formula 1 battle here in One Hub Racing between Ferrari and Williams, and quite ironically it's Haas who are leading the constructors, one of the newer teams. So we are very diverse in terms of our Formula 1 teams here in the P1 tier, but let us know down below if you're enjoying this one so far, and let us know your thoughts and if you're enjoying the race. So, J. Cole is actually right behind Jinx, which would make me believe Jinx has made a mistake, because he was not right behind him starting this lap.
He was not. So he's either made a mistake, or them tyres have not lasted very long at all. And there's our answer. Straight into the pits.
Straight into the pits. Jinx, he is straight into the pit lane. Let's see what tyres the McLaren is going to go for. It's going to be the mediums. It is the medium compound of tyres for Jinx, so he's going to try maybe a soft medium, maybe a soft medium hard, depending how this medium stint's gone. It's a much earlier stop than what we'll see these guys do on the medium compound of tyres, so you'll just have to be careful for that. Cass hungry to get P number 5, as he is just hunting down Larkin. Larkin closing in on Merck, so this could become a nice little tasty battle for third in this race, if it all develops correctly.
Yep, we've got Tim in the Haas, who's all over the back of the AlphaTauri driver now as well. So he's trying to regain positions as well after his couple of spins at the start of the race.
Yep, we will see here as Jamie Mills leads by 4 seconds. A fun fact about one dominant Singaporean Grand Prix winner, it was in 2015. Sebastian Vettel. Humidity levels of 70%, approximately, around here in Singapore, and the drivers lose about 3 to 4 kilos of body weight around this Grand Prix. Obviously, not in the sim, this is in real life we're talking about. And Sebastian Vettel did the race in 2014 without a sup of water. So, there is your fun fact of today about Mr. Seb Vettel, a driver with many talents, and that goes for Jamie Mills as well. This, I suppose, is a 2013 type season for him. Casson hunting down Larkin in towards turn number 3. Can't get the job done as of now.
Oh, and yeah, it's going to be a very hot, long race for these guys with the humidity around here. And it's one of the few circuits that's anti-clockwise as well.
Yeah, it is one of few circuits. Here comes Cass from the inside, then the Williams. Has he got it done on the brakes? He absolutely has. That's a lovely move up the inside for Cass. Larkin just attacking back in towards turn number 7. In towards turn number 8. That is the job done for Cass. That's a lovely move for the Williams.
Yep. Now Merck is creeping up to the back of J. Cole again now. Let's see if he can get a good exit out of 13 and get a run up into 14 with the DRS open as well. And he's a bit too far back to go for a move.
Too far back. Merckx is on the back of J. Cole. Could we see a repeat? Maybe in towards turn number 7. As Merckx is looking to get alongside the Ferrari and just get that Williams up the inside around lap 6 out of 31 here. It's not the most interesting Singaporean Grand Prix of all time, but let us know down below who you think's going to win it. It might be an obvious choice as of now, but anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does.
Yeah, Tim just got a massive slide coming onto the bridge then. He was lucky to keep it out the wall. But he's getting slightly frustrated, stuck behind this. Well, it's effectively a DRS train now. Everyone follow Larkin.
Everyone follow Larkin. There's certainly... Oh, there is a bit of a train behind Larkin. That is for sure. It's Timo, Nipro, Serdar, Tim, all behind the Ferrari. Bit of a wobble for Serdar there. Merckx then looking to try and attack J. Cole in towards turn number 7. Can't get it done just like Cass did, and that is the Confessor unfortunately picking up his second time penalty of the day.
Yep, he's not having a good day. I think it's one to forget, but he's still going and he's still in the points at the moment. He just needs to keep his head down, and there's still a long way to go.
Still a long way to go around this 5.063 Singaporean Marina Bay circuit. The strategy game still present as ever here in One Hub Racing. Of course, these drivers have to do a 2-stop strategy if they want to legally complete this race.
Now, Jinx on the fresh tyres. 2 taps behind him now. Is he going to go for a quick dive into turn number 11? Oh, no, he's not.
Could get him into 14. Who gets the better exit? Oh, the Confessor gets a much better exit. Jinx all over the road there. Just could have maybe short shifted up a gear. Would have got better traction off of the corner, but the Confessor keeps the position for now. Under real pressure, however. And this is the real only on-track battle as of now. It's the battle for 12, so the final points-paying positions. That's Timo into the pits. He's gone a lot longer than Jinx has. That is Timo in on the soft compound tyres. However, he will be behind these guys. The Confessor. Yeah, the Confessor on the wall. He's tapped the wall there. That's a tap with the rear left. Seems to be okay on the damage front, but the Confessor has definitely struck the left-hand wall. This is a real chance for Jinx. Oh, he's almost spun it.
Jinx has hit him.
Oh, he's almost spun it. Jinx. Looks like he's tapped him, and this is getting a little bit feisty at the back of the field between the Confessor and Jinx. Timo comes out of the pits, which is going to be just behind them, so does have a car in sight. Serdar is looking for the move on Nipro as well, and Merckx is still hungry for the move on J. Cole.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was a lag spike or if he did actually hit him for a second, but this is costing Jinx time, because he is the first driver who made the pit. And he was running in P3 at the time, so this is costing him valuable time. He needs to get past this Red Bull.
Yep, he does. Jinx needs to get past because he is on a completely different strategy. It's an undercut for him, as it looks like Nipro. Oh, Nipro's round. He is around. So that's unfortunate for Nipro. He is going to have to get the car around and get back running.
Yeah. I don't know if he's probably got on the power too early and lit the rears up and spun round. I don't think there was contact with anyone.
No, doesn't seem to be anyways. It seemed to just be a spin under his own accord. Back up then in the battle for third. Merckx still putting J. Cole under some pressure as Jinx... Oh, he's got power side by side here with the Confessor. Thought he got past. The Confessor's going to keep the car in. This is a real defensive job from the Confessor. Look at him hounding. Oh, into the wall. That's the Confessor on the wall. How he's not out of this race is beyond me. Looked like he just went too far. Extended into the wall. The virtual safety car has been brought out as the Confessor picks himself out of the barriers.
Ooh, that was good, clean racing to begin with, but you know, you can't get 2 cars side by side going through there. Jinx is also into the pits.
And so is the Confessor.
This is for strategy.
Yeah, there's no wing change there for Jinx. He's going to go to the end of this race. The Confessor certainly needs a wing change. That we know. But yeah, that one is all strategy for Jinx. Good call maybe from the McLaren in hindsight.
He needs to get these tyres up to temp because the hard tyres can take to 3 to 4 laps to warm up. Right, going up to the front. Jamie just having a nice Sunday drive, really. 5.7 ahead.
Maybe he'll stop for a cuppa or something, but make this a bit more interesting. We'll see. We'll certainly see. But this has to be probably one of his more calm and relaxed performances. Maybe he's stuck on the radio or something and he's listening to a few tunes while driving around. And
we've gone green.
We go racing once again here in Singapore. Right at all, he's got a few tenths on him, mind you. He's got a much better restart. He's got a few tenths from the Delta time, so it's only 5.1 up the top. Oh, that's easy for Ryder Dahl. He can catch that, as Merck doesn't get the restart on the Ferrari of J. Cole. And now the Williams just still has a job to do.
Yep. The Ferrari just seems to get the slight better traction out of the corners, and he's not close enough again, but he's got the DRS now. Use the ERS as well, and is it going to be a dive into turn 7? He's a bit too far back again.
Bit too far back into 7. Marked. This will be a tough battle. J. Cole is not an easy guy to get past.
No. And he's dragging his teammate along with him. He's just under a second behind, and Larkins kind of fell off the pace a bit. He's 3.3 behind now.
3.3 behind. Larkin, of course, he's fallen off a bit here, actually, has Larkin. No pit stops made. As, oh, look at this. Tim and Serdar battling. This is a battle for position. There's no strategy in this one at all. Tim, oh, he's going for the switchback. Up the inside is the Hassman now. Oh, oh, no. Oh, my goodness me. That is an ugly piece of overtaking. And now the full safety car has been brought out. Tim's got it all wrong up the inside of Serdar, and poor Serdar has been driven into, unfortunately.
Yes. I think both drivers will be getting called to the stewards on that one.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that one's going to end well for Tim, if I am honest, and there's a lot of people into the pits.
Yes, there is. Williams is double stacking. As our Ferrari. Is it going to work? It's not worked out too bad for Ferrari because they had a bit of a gap.
Yeah, and quite helpfully, it was Serdar and Tim who were behind Larkin, so that's worked out okay for Larkin. He's got out of the pits. Cass has gone for the hard tyres. Yeah. So that's interesting. That's really interesting, actually.
I believe it was Nipro who was caught speeding in the pits as well, so he's had a penalty. Yes, 5-second penalty for him. 6 for Serdar and 6 for the Confessor. So wing change for Tim.
Yeah, Tim is picking up a wing change after bringing out the safety car in a battle with Serdar. It has been an unfortunate race so far for the Haas. He went around at turn number 8 on the first lap. He was involved with a bit of a nick with Timo, as Owen White's AI is back up to 11th here, so at least Owen White's AI is not doing too badly.
There's a couple of points for him. So, interesting that Williams have split their strategy. They have Cass going onto the hard tyres, and 2 stops. So yeah, Jinx in P10 is the only guy who's made, and the Confessor at the rear of the field have both made 2 stops. So it's not all over just yet for the Confessor with his safety car. You know, he's on hard tyres, so he can get them to the end. He just needs to keep it clean, because that 6-second penalty will cost him towards the end.
So, if you're just joining us, folks, welcome along to One Hub Racing, the P1 tier. We're live here in Singapore. We're 11 laps into the Grand Prix. Jamie Mel's had quite a substantial lead, but the pressure is back on now that his safety cars come out. Tyres, as of now, it is the top four on the mediums with Cass on the hards, Larkin on the mediums, and then Timo on the mediums. They are not fresh. He's been on those for 3 laps. Nipro on the mediums with Serdar and Jinx on the hards as... What's happened? Nipro? Oh, he's in the pits. So Nipro was in the pits. He seems to be going to go for hards to the end, I imagine. Owen White on 8 lap all mediums, but Owen rage quit on lap number 3. Tim on mediums in 12th. Those are fresh, and then Kevin on the mediums as well, with the Confessor on fresh hards, but Confessor unfortunately hasn't been at the races since that disconnect.
No, on board with Nipro. So he did come into the pits to get rid of his 5-second penalty. And he's also had a wing change, so I believe they picked up damage somewhere. And he's got the hard tyres on till the end of the race now.
Hard tyres on to the end of the race for Nipro. Mercedes currently 12th and 13th, picking up 1 single point. The manufacturer standings as of now, it is Haas on top with 123. It's Ferrari second on 76, Williams in third, 71, Oracle Red Bull Racing in fourth on 55, Alpine in fifth on 44. Then it is Alfa Romeo in sixth on 28, McLaren in seventh on 12, AlphaTauri in eighth on 11, Aston Martin in ninth on 4, and Mercedes in last position. Not a single point so far this season, apologies. So it's not really a great look for them, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I can't really do the maths at the minute with Ferrari and Williams being so close together. I assume Ferrari might still be ahead after this race as it stands by a couple of points. They're currently only 5 points ahead of Williams, so it's still extremely close between them two in the constructors for P2 and P3.
Yeah, it is really close between those. That is the real battle this season. There's no real battle for the championship. Jamie Mells has been dominant all season, but Ferrari and Williams is an iconic battle so far here this season. Jamie Mells will get us underway as he tries to win his 5th race victory in 6 races. Let's see what the Haasman can do then. Just going nice and slowly, allowing that safety car to get past safety car line 1. Once it gets into the pit, he is able to go, just backing up the field quite a lot here as we go racing once again in Singapore. Bit of a kick out of the rear for Mells, but he's got it round the final corner. A-OK. Looks like Merck still trying to find a way past the Ferrari of J. Cole. In towards turn number 1. Bit of a battle here. The Confessor's got a great race start up to 11th. Wide goes Kevin through turn number 1. The Confessor up the inside. He's at the 10th spot here in Singapore. Great restart for the Red Bullman. Looks like Serdar is up the inside of Jinx as well. Jinx trying to hang it around the outside. Did this earlier on in the race, and Jinx has gone around the outside, or held it around the outside on Serdar. Serdar attacking now the NRL man for AlphaTauri. He's going to be outside. He's just backed off there. Probably a clever choice. Still plenty of laps left. Tim up the inside of Nipro. Nipro broke really early there, and too early. It's cost him a position. And now Tim... Oh, he's almost on the wall again in that corner on a start. That would have been unfortunate if he had gone round again.
Yep. Top 7 kept it in position, kept it clean, just followed the leaders. Jinx picked up a couple of places, also got a penalty in there as well. And the Confessor is up into the points into P10 now.
Yeah, good start for the Confessor. Timo all over the back of Larkin. Larkin currently 6th, currently 2nd in the championship is Larkin, and what's been not his best season so far.
He's gone, he's done it again.
Oh, Tim.
He's gone into turn 14, took a dive and hit the Mercedes round.
Oh, Tim, I think you'll be very thankful that we didn't get that one on the stream, as Nipro was just tagged to the right hand side wall, but Tim... He's not taking himself out this time, at least, so... Oh, car in front hit the wall again. Nipro all over the road. He's under real pressure from the Haas behind. That car is snappy left, right and centre. And now Tim, flicking through the left-hander, is looking to just try and overtake this Mercedes into turn number 1. Those hard tyres are not Not a good choice, it seems, so far. Highest hard tyre runner is Casa. No, the Mercedes kept it at the inside, and that has Tim scraped the wall. I'm not too sure, but he certainly was close to it.
I think I was on board with Tim. I think he just got away with hitting the wall there.
Okay, so Tim is okay. This is starting to get a little bit scrappy down the back. Is he going to try dive Nipro here? Oh my goodness me! Tim up the inside! How's he got that stopped? My oh my, it's not been an overtaking masterclass in any sense from Tim. Well, that is a beautiful move.
That was Daniel Ricciardo-esque. That was.
Yeah, that was a beauty.
It was. Yeah. Now he just needs to keep his head now and just push on and see what he can do for the rest of the race.
Turn 14 might not be the corner for him. Turn 7 definitely is. That is a great move from the Ferrari-powered Haas. Back up to the Ferraris then. It is Larkin in 6th and J. Cole in 3rd, and they're still scoring good points today, these two teammates, and most importantly friends, and you can tell because they've always worked well as teammates. Cass and Merckx have worked well as teammates as well this season when other teams necessarily haven't, hence why these are in the important battles. Almost halfway through the race then. It's certainly a long one, but we are almost halfway there, and Larkin is still trying to get past Cass, and Merckx is still trying to get past Jacob.
Yep. DRS is now back inactive, so we'll hopefully start seeing some more overtakes. Merckx is still in DRS range, but he's a bit too far back to make a move, as is Larkin on Cass at the minute.
The Confessor, who we saw go up to 10th in the restart, he's held position and he's held pace here. He's not fallen too far off the back. That's the Mercedes round the background. That's Nipro, who's gone round, and the Mercedes in 13th has gone round. Unfortunately, it's not been a good race for Mercedes so far, but as of now, they're still scoring a point, so it's more than the rest of the season. At least it would be Kevin on debut who gets their first point.
Yep. And Jamie is who is that?
Larkin in the wall heading onto the Anderson Bridge. Definitely smashed the front wing. Jinx takes advantage. The GSP driver up the inside in his McLaren. Now Larkin still trying to defend this one. There was definitely some wing damage there for Larkin. He's probably going to have to take a trip to the pits.
Yeah, he's got it slowed down. But
he's got it slowed down, yeah, and got it turned in nicely actually. Oh no, there's cars in the wall in the background. Yellow flags. That's Serdar who's gone into the wall in the background. Unrelated collision by the looks of things. Seems like he just went in a bit deep. But Larkin, he's still in 7th. Wonder if he'll try. He doesn't seem to be losing too much pace. I wonder, will he pit or will he try maybe hang this one out and stick on a selected strategy? Although he's certainly going to lose a lot of time. He's going to carry on here as Larkin. Doesn't fancy pitting. That's going to be bad news if your name is Jinx. Although he is going to try up the inside as the man in the hard compound tyres. He needs to get past this struggling Ferrari, or this demolished Ferrari. Otherwise it could be a really long end to this evening for the McLaren, but he's got the job done, and that's a great overtake.
Yep. It sees left end plate has gone, which is kind of what I got, but I only had 6 laps to go, so I stuck it out, and it was doable. He's just got to watch on the braking so he doesn't understeer into the wall. But yeah, with just over halfway, he's got a long way to go and still needs to make a pit stop.
Yeah, it is. It's a long journey for Larkin until the end of this race. Of course, as you said, if it was only about 6 laps to go, he could probably just stick it out and do it. He's lost a couple spots, but it would be okay. However, now he is under pressure from the Confessor as well, and the Confessor has a sniff of more points. Tim tried up the inside of the Confessor, and it almost worked. The Confessor versus Larkin versus Tim. Tim, please don't try it. The Confessor might. He's looked. It's a show, but it's a no-go for the Confessor. He's not gone up the inside, and he's thought about that one clever. He knows that car in front is struggling. It does have wing damage. It's a front left end plate for ERT Larkin that is missing, and that Ferrari is losing quite a bit of downforce. Yellow flag, that is Nipro again in the wall as Kevin is trying to pressure Serdar.
Oh, Tim is
so
pushing
close.
the Red Bull around. He's got to be patient here. Both drivers have got to be patient.
Yeah, the Confessor has penalties as well. He's picked up another one. The Confessor opens up the rear wing, and he's going to try and look over the inside of the Ferrari. We're on board with the Haas watching this one, but it's not worked out for the Confessor. Tim just needs to keep patient. He's not been patient this afternoon, and it's probably cost him. But if he just keeps his patience here, there'll be two handy positions for him. Yellow flag. That is now Kevin, who's gone off for Mercedes. It's not Nipro, so it's the other Mercedes of Kevin that has gone off. Here comes the Confessor then. Is he going to try around the outside of the Ferrari? It would be an audacious end, but he's going to go for it. Round the outside goes the Confessor. He's gone off the circuit. He should realistically give that one back, but Tim's hit him. Oh, and the Ferrari's in the wall and out of the race. Oh my goodness me. Oh, it's a rookie error from Tim. He's hit the Red Bull into the Ferrari. Now Larkin is out of the race, and Kevin almost hits the Ferrari. But that is Larkin's day over.
There's surprisingly no safety car for that. But yeah, they needed patience. But yeah, it's unlucky for the Ferrari driver. That's valuable points lost for the constructors. Yeah,
I mean,
let's see what
the Confessor's probably counting as lucky stars, because Larkin basically acted as a nice cushion for the Red Bull. The Red Bull was bounced into him. The Ferrari took all the momentum and goes straight into the barrier. But yeah, the Confessor then still in 8th. Tim is in 9th. Tim is under a watchful eye of the stewarding team, I suppose we could say, after this one. It's not the first error he's made today that's involved another driver. Hopefully for his sake, I was going to say it's the last, just as a huge snap of understeer. Ooh. As Ryder Dow's picked up a penalty. Yes. Ryder Dow's not fallen off the back of Jamie Mills as much in this stint.
He's not, but he's got a nice cushion to J. Cole and P3 at the minute, so the penalty won't hinder him too much at the moment.
Yeah, Ryder Dahl is on course for what's going to be a very healthy second. It's a good performance for Ryder Dahl. He always has a couple of good performances when he drives here in the P1 tier. So hopefully, it all works out okay for him.
Yeah, I mean, and going back to Bahrain, towards the end of the race, he was setting fastest laps, he was picking up positions. He's got the pace to be up there, and it's going to be I believe it'll be his first podium as well this season, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you are correct, yes. First podium.
Yeah. And considering the adventures, the two Mercedes drivers are still in points.
I'm not too sure how, but they are there. They are certainly there.
Right, and we've still got Tim pushing that Red Bull around. It seems to be sector 3 where the Red Bull's struggling. He might have the straight line speed, and Tim is just got to be patient again and pick the spot into turn 7 like you did.
Yeah, that's his good spot. The rest of them are not working out all too well for the Haas. That's his good spot. That's a yellow flag. That's Cass gone round. It's lucky for Ferrari, because that's a Williams making a mistake. Is the Confessor go close enough to take this one? No, Cass will carry on. He's lost 2 positions. He's lost a position to Timo, and he's lost a position to Jinx. Seems to be okay without damage. Haas, of course, as we look at him, he's going to get this one surely in a straight line. Currently up the lap record in the hands of Kevin Magnussen around the Singaporean circuit. Is Tim going to try the outside? We saw the Confessor try around the outside on a Ferrari. That's what caused all this. Tim has completely gone off the circuit, but he's going to keep it up the inside as the Red Bull. And the Confessor hangs around. Oh, huge snap for them both. They both hold position. And the Confessor stays in 8th.
Yeah, I don't think that was a legal move from the Haas driver. I think he had to back out of that. And,
I'm not sure he wanted to, but he definitely had to.
No. We got the Mercedes into the pits.
Tim, he just looks like he's driving a toboggan with wheels around here. The car is snapping into every corner. Oh, he's tapped the wall. Oh, the car just looks so unstable. How is Tim driving this? He's doing a good job. The fact he's kicked it out of the wall less than 5 times. But the Haas is certainly not comfortable, and he's not going to be comfortable with the dirty air of that Oracle Red Bull racing car of the Confessor in front, because the Confessor is being a real annoyance for Tim so far.
He is, and
into the wall! And out of the race goes Tim! Just as we were saying, that car looks unstable. He's absolutely clattered that right-hand barrier, and that's only a virtual safety car that's come out. Oh, it really, it was a toboggan on wheels. It's now just a toboggan, as the Haas is out of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think it got to him, you know, starting on the front row and then spinning on lap 1 and then just getting into incident after incident into turn 14. I think his head kind of went. That's unfortunate.
Just watching the replay or watching the stream open beside me, it was a complete overcorrection that put him in the wall. There was a little snap. He tried to correct it. The car completely veered off to the right hand side and clattered the Armco. But Merckx then versus J. Cole, now the closest battle on the circuit, and it is a little bit of deja vu. It is one car stuck behind another, but this time it is for a lot more points and a quite crucial constructors battle between these two. As it stands, Williams, I believe, would overtake Ferrari. Merckx. Whew, that was almost a commentator's curse. That's not what I want to do this evening. My goodness me.
Yes, what is the point? It's 5 point. Yes, at this moment in time, I do believe Williams will go back ahead.
And Serdar has actually come into the pits for a set of the softs. And I saw someone else cast now into the pits. Soft tires are not making the end from here, and that's an unfortunate truth for these guys. So hopefully Cass has been a little bit more clever with his tyre selection. He has. He's going for the mediums. Those will comfortably make the end, and they'll be quite nice towards the end of the race, actually.
Oh, Merck tried to move into turn 7 then.
Oh, here he is. He's alongside. Side by side with J. Cole. Just about doesn't hit the wall. J. Cole struggling with his battery deployment. Merckx has a lot more in hand. Heading in towards the sling then. Merckx is just going to try and get as close as possible. That's just a little manoeuvre to try and set the Ferrari's heart racing a little bit more. But over the Anderson Bridge, looks like J. Cole is still going to hold his nerve, and he's going to hold his P3. Tim leaves the session. It's once again a DNF from a good qualifying position for Tim. That's unfortunately been a story for his season. That's a yellow flag. That's Nipro who's gone round, I believe, as he's almost lapped down in this one to Jamie Melts.
Yeah. So just a quick maths on the constructors. I do believe, if my maths is right, Williams will go ahead by 1 point at this moment.
Ooh. It's close. It is oh so close, and that's why Merckx wants to spot off J. Cole. He's been behind him for the entire race. It is very reminiscent of Vitaly Petrov and Fernando Alonso, because J. Cole is definitely Vitaly Petrov now. He has held this Williams behind for the entire race, and he's did a superb job of it. There's not been a mistake so far at this Grand Prix from J. Cole. Pace mightn't be a race-winning pace, but it doesn't need to, because he's ahead. Then he's ahead of Merckx on the circuit, and that's who he's fighting with in both championships.
Yep, we've 10 to go now. We've still got, well, the top 5 still need to pit, so it's looking decent at the moment for Jinx and the Confessor. You know, Confessor, considering he had a disconnection as well, he's sitting nicely in P7 at the moment. Made his 2 stops.
Sitting nicely in 7th, the Confessor. It's good points for him. It is very good points for the Confessor. Considering how this race started for him, it's really turned around, because the Red Bullman had an awful time. He spun, he disconnected, he spun, had a bit of a bad time at the back, but he's come back, and now he's 7th, and had a little bit of a Sergio Perez defensive moment, and he's now in 7th position. That is Nipro, I believe, letting Ryderdale through. So Nipro is a lap down, unfortunately.
Yeah, and with, you know, on Confessor still, you know, he's got 9 seconds of penalties, but he's got a healthy gap to the Mercedes driver behind him. So technically he's still sat nicely in P7. He doesn't need to worry about the penalties at the moment. As we got
that's
another
Nipro
retirement.
out. That's Nipro out of the race. So that's our third retirement from this Grand Prix. Fourth, if you'd like to include Owen Wyatt's AI, who rage quit on lap number 3. But that is that for Nipro. It won't be points for him, but Kevin in a good point scoring position to finally pick up something for the Mercedes team.
Back to the battle for the final spot on the podium.
Here comes Mert. Is this going to be the chance? No, just backs off as Cass picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, he's looking a lot closer this time round, but the next few corners there is no place to overtake, so he just needs to sit with him.
Heading through the sling and over the bridge is a bit of a wobble from J. Cole, but he's recovered well. Let's see then. I wonder how Merck is going to play this. Maybe an undercut. That could be a good call. I believe all these guys are going to stay out and go for these soft compound tyres. I think an undercut is the only way to go. However, his teammate Cass is right on the back of Kevin here.
He is. Yeah, is it the move into turn 10? Oh, no. Oh. Almost contact.
Yeah, he tried the outside. Bit of a bold one. And the Mercedes has had a kick out of the rear, and he's invited the Williams through. Cass up to P8. He's on the much better tyres. He was probably going to get past anyways, but it was a lot simpler than he first imagined. Unless Kevin has a look at the inside. No, he just doesn't. He doesn't have enough room. And Cass gets the job done. Back up to 8th. The next target is the Confessor, who he'll be hoping to catch.
Right. Here's another opportunity for the Williams driver, and I think he's a lot closer.
Oh, he's a lot closer here. Can Mert maybe go for the outside? Around the outside of the Ferrari. He's just shoved off the circuit. There was no real room there, so he probably couldn't have got it done anyways.
Yeah, he was using a bit more ERS that time round, Merck was, so he was saving it for that run. They're pretty level pegging on the ERS as well.
Merck he has to be so frustrated.
As well.
Yeah, Jinx is closing in on Teemo, and Jinx hasn't did too bad since then. A lot of these guys really had shaky starts, and they've not did too bad since. Oh, that was bad timing. That was awful timing. And it seems to be that corner. That's just a lot of kicks out of the rear suspension. But Jinx he'll settle back in. We realistically should start to see some more pit stops soon. Hopefully that makes things a little bit more interesting here in Marina Bay.
Yes. So we've got so Jinx, Confessor, and Cass have made the 2 stops, and the 2 rear gunners have said and Owen's AI.
Yeah, Owen's AI not having a bad race here in 11th. You're not going to get anything for it because it's his AI and he rage quit on lap 3, but not a bad race.
Right, and here we go, part 3 of the Ferrari Williams battle. I think he's a bit too far back this time round. He's not using his ERS neither, so I think he's just going to charge the battery a bit and try again on lap 26.
Oh, a bit wide from Merckx. I think it's all going to be undercut now from Merckx. I would not be surprised to see him pit this lap and maybe try undercut J. Cole, because he does seem to have the pace over the Ferrari genuinely here. It just seems to be that the Ferrari is a really good defender, which J. Cole is. He's a great defender. He won the P2 championship for a reason. He's very good at wheel-to-wheel racing.
Yeah. And, he held on to a nice P3 last time out as well, so he wants to keep that P3 again this race. Going back down to Timo and Jinx. Timo's medium tyres are 17 laps old. They are looking very tired indeed.
Yeah, 17 laps old on the 17 lap old mediums, I should say. For Timo, he's really struggling, hence why we're seeing Jinx all over the back of the Alpine. Is he? No, surely not going to go for a move into this sector. No, don't think he is Jinx. Will we see a pit stop from one of these two? Yes, we will. Marked into the pit lane. It's an undercut attempt from the Williams. This is really interesting now, because J. Cole needs to go for it. He's just been kind of casually coasting and hoping that Merck doesn't get the exits he wants, and it's worked. But now, J. Cole needs to push to cover off this undercut. Timo is still defending from Jinx. Everyone who still needs to make a two-stop is the top 4 and Kevin. Everyone else has completed their second stop, so the Confessor is in a really good position. So is Jinx in a really good position here as well. He's made both of his stops.
Boys are right by each other now.
Yeah, I surely Cass lets Merck... Oh, sorry, Merck is ahead. I was going to say, surely Cass lets Merck through, but he's already ahead. Yeah. However, I'm just starting to have a little bit of a sabbatical here. Jinx could still realistically win this race. He's completed his 2 pit stops. What is his gap to the leader? Oh, it's 27 seconds. It's probably... Jamie Mells is probably okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean, at the minute, Jinx's tyres are 17 laps old as well, so he's going to be pushing it on tyre wear.
He could certainly do it getting past the Alpine.
Yeah, the Alpine's not helping his case here, because I don't think he's got to worry about the Williams. I think Confessor might have to worry about Merck, because he's on soft tyres, obviously. He's going to close that gap down quickly. And with the 9 seconds that the Confessor has...
Yeah, he's gone already, actually, because of the 9-second penalty.
He has 8 seconds already.
So it's unfortunate for the Confessor. I think he'll still be happy with whatever he can get, really, here. The Confessor is more one of those guys who races for his enjoyment rather than points, so I hope he had fun. He certainly had a bit of a defensive masterclass on Tim, and then unfortunately Tim...
Is it raining? Is it raining?
Have I just seen some rain? I was mid-sentence, and now there's some rain. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you've managed to stick with us, you have been rewarded. It started to rain around Marina Bay.
We got a... who's that? Oh,
that's Serdar who's gone round. That's Serdar. He's under no pressure. He's at the back anyways.
That explains Timo staying out. He must have known.
That explains the top 4 staying out. It's starting to spit down. It's starting to come down fairly quickly. As a Welshman and Irishman, we know our rain, and it's certainly starting to be a bit of a heavy shower.
Timo's struggling.
Timo is really struggling. Jinx seems okay. Merck here is going to surely try a risk it all and go to the end of this race. Jamie Mells is in. Look how slow he's going into the pit lane. What tyres is Jamie going to go for here?
Because Jinx! I think he's just got away with that.
Has he just got away with it? Completely missed it, but Jinx... Yeah, he seems okay. Jamie Mells is on the intermediates. Oh my goodness me, he's on the intermediates. Is the track wet enough?
Oh right, DRS disabled. Oh,
this could be just perfection for Jamie Mells. These guys are all staying out. Ryder Dahl and J. Cole still have to make a pit stop regardless if it's 4 slicks or if it's 4 wets. They still have to pit. It's regulation. They still do need to pull into the pits.
Wet. They've got to pit. Turn 1 and 2 was
Jamie's flying here. Jamie Mells is absolutely flying, and he'll still comfortably win this one by the looks of things. How will this shuffle up the rest of the order? If this rain came about 5 laps ago, this would be a completely different game, I believe.
Mercedes is in.
Yeah, that's Kevin in. Kevin had to pit as well, so the intermediates is not too much of a bad call for him. What will Jinx and the Confessor do? Will they try and just stick it out? Because if they stick it out and it's successful, they do have a lot to gain from this, but the track looks wet. The track looks really, really wet here in Singapore. It's certainly come down very, very quickly. You can just see some puddles all over the place. Jamie Mells has got about 2 seconds on J. Cole already. That could just be because J. Cole is coasting.
Yeah. But yeah, look at turn 14. It's very wet. And it's a long circuit as well. You know, you need to pit. If I was the driver, I would be pitting. And
it's not that long a pit lane either.
It's not.
Meaning, it could be okay. Yeah, Jamie Mells, he's gaining rapidly. This track is wet. This track is intermediate conditions. Ryderdale is in. J. Cole is surely in as well. This is going to be an even more comfortable win for Jamie Mells because these guys have all been caught. Jamie Mells he's already passed J. Cole on the circuit before J. Cole's even got into the pit lane. Timo's gonna have to pit, so is Jinx. Yellow flag. Oh, it's the Confessor. Oh, it's the Confessor. It's oh so unfortunate. Cass is gonna fly past. Is Merck gonna try stay out? Oh my goodness me, he is. This could be Williams throwing an awful lot down the drain here. Just look at him sliding. It's not the right call for Merck here. It is intermediate conditions. True and true. Rotterdam's got out in second spot. He won't lose anything unless this works out for Merck, but this will have to be probably a miracle multiplied by infinity if it was to work out for Merck. He's all over the road.
Yeah. With 2 laps to go, he's gonna shoot down the order if he stays out.
I think he has to go for broke now, though. He's risked it this far. He has to keep with it.
Yeah. I mean, he is on the soft tyres, so he would have slightly better grip towards the mediums and hards in these conditions, but you know,
he's losing a lot of time. He is losing a lot of time, and that's probably why we didn't see J. Cole react to his undercut. J. Cole sensed that rain was coming, and J. Cole will fly past him in his Scuderia Ferrari, and J. Cole will end up on the podium. Merckx he's 17.7 seconds behind. It's doable. It is doable. Oh, or is it? It may not be.
No, it's down to 15.3, 15.1.
No.
He's
no. Oh, no. It's not good for Merck. He's gambled.
Yeah, it's a gamble. It's not paid off, and it's going to cost Williams valuable points. He needs to pit now.
Serdar's picked up a 3-second time penalty. But I don't think that's going to have much of an effect, really, on this race.
No. So Jamie Mells is still flying, still pulling a gap. He's now 15.1 ahead.
Yeah, I reckon we could put Jamie on the slicks and he'd probably still win this race by a good 17 odd seconds. He's been untouchable here in this Grand Prix. The only people who could get near to him in qualifying were Ryderdale and OP Tim. Ryderdale's had a good race. Absolutely nothing wrong with Ryderdale. Tim, we can't quite say the same, but nobody's matched the race pace of Jamie Mells. Jinx! My goodness me, was that a very, let's say, beautiful looking drift, as Merck has given up and he is into the pits for the intermediates to try and salvage something from this race.
Yeah. So in the end, it's not worked out too bad for Timo, considering how worn his mediums are. He's nicely in P4. Jinx behind him has got a penalty. It's got 6 seconds, in fact, so top 4 is more or less settled. And
Merck's little moment has actually really worked out well for the Confessor. Oh, has? Oh no, hold on a second.
Oh, it's gonna be tight.
That gap was 14 seconds. It's not anymore.
No.
So yeah, it's not worked out okay. He'll only lose 1 spot. He'll finish ahead of Kevin. And it'll be P8 for Merck. The fastest lap point inside, or we'll get the fastest laps up now. The fastest lap point inside the top 10 actually goes to Cass. So another point for Williams. And the fastest lap outside the top 10 is going to go to Owen Wyatt's AI, because the other 3 have DNF'd, but I'm unsure if he's going to get a point for it. I'm not too sure of the regulations. If DNF guys can get a point for it, it'll go to Tim, but again, don't think they can.
Yeah. So, race leader and
the Confessor!
Leader. Oh.
My goodness me, he's just clattered the wall as Jamie Mells starts the final lap of the race.
Yeah.
It's actually not been that long of a race in race time, considering what we've had. We only had one safety car, we had 2 VSCs, and we've now had a wet patch. But for a league race that, on average in Singapore, it usually takes over an hour and a half, we are currently at an hour and 14 of stream time, and that includes a bit of qualifying. So it's been a fairly swift race.
Yeah. It's not been a bad race. You know, interesting battles, DRS trains, some unfortunate incidents, and nice little spice towards the end. Yellow flag? Who's that?
It's Serdar, I believe.
But the closest battle at the minute is Timo and Jinx, but it's not going to really affect their positions, as Jamie Mells is now into the final sector.
Jamie Mells. My goodness me, what a performance this has been. He's one step closer to probably the earliest championship wrap-up in One Hub Racing history. P1, 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 and now, rounding the final corner for a 5th P1 in 6 races, including a sprint, Jamie Mells wins the Singaporean Grand Prix by over 20 seconds, crossing the line because Ryder Dahl does have that penalty. J. Cole will finish in 3rd. Here comes Ryder Dahl then. It's been a really good performance from the Red Bull and Ryder Dahl. Currently sat in 7th in the championship. He's going to jump a lot of people with that 2nd position. J. Cole will finish in 3rd.
Yeah, good solid finish for the Ferrari driver. He needed that for the constructors and for himself.
Oh, Jacob!
Wow.
We almost didn't cross the line. That was close. Oof, my goodness me. Timo will come home in 4th. That's an excellent result for Timo.
Is considering he got tagged at the start of the race as well. So yeah, it's a really good position.
Yeah, he did. Cass is going to come home 6th. Spins crossing the line. The Confessor... Oh, he's Mert just behind him. Mert has been really quick in the inters. Maybe he should have pit a bit earlier. The Confessor will run wide to the final corner. He will spin across the line. Oh, Mert has actually beaten him across the line because his spin was quicker. Oh, this race has really had everything. Kevin will come across the line.
I don't even know where Kevin finished. P9, I think.
I believe so.
Well, there we go.
That has been an interesting Singapore Grand Prix, and I say interesting because it's had just about everything in it.
Yes, obviously only one Haas driver finishing the race, but they have a healthy lead in the constructors. Both Williams finished, but I do believe have failed to take over Ferrari due to J. Cole's P3, which has now put him into 2nd in the championship.
Here is your full race results then. It is Jamie Mells who wins the Singaporean Grand Prix ahead of Ryder Dahl. J. Cole in 3rd, followed by Timo in 4th, Jinx 5th, Cass 6th, Merck 7th, The Confessor 8th, Kevin 9th, and then Serdar in 10th position. Baza, who's your driver of the day?
Ooh, interesting one. I'm going to go for the Red Bull, Ryder Dahl. And my question is for you, were you unlucky to not get pole position after it being so close between the 3 of you? Pretty comfortable race. Are you happy with P2?
I think I have to go for a bit of an obvious option. I'm going to go for Jamie Mells. My question to him is, how does it feel to become one step closer to becoming the Drivers' Champion? But, ladies and gentlemen, what an interesting race. I did enjoy that, actually. We didn't have the numbers, but it was certainly interesting, and it was Run Hub at its finest form. But thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, here in Singapore. Do keep an eye on all our social channels, and a big thanks to our partners that we did mention during the stream. That is all we do have time for then, folks. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you next time.